Barbra Streisand, Oscar Peterson, Richard Pryor, Dick Gregory. If you were a performer and you played Mr. Kelly's on Rush Street, you knew you were on your way. A documentary airing tonight on WTTW shares the history of the iconic performance venue that launched so many careers. Live at Mr. Kelly's tells the story of the legendary nightclub, a place that put Chicago on the map and helped define American culture through jazz and sometimes subversive comedy performances and so much more.
In my mind, there are two uniquely American art forms, jazz and stand-up comedy. And Mr. Kelly's was essentially an incubator for both.
Many of the most talented and famous recording artists in the history of popular music, including Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, Della Reese, and Anita O'Day, record live at Mr. Kelly's.
A familiar voice narrating there, and joining us is the film's executive producer, David Marienthal. His father, George, and Uncle Oscar owned and operated Mr. Kelly's, as well as the performance venues, the London House and Happy Medium. David Marienthal, welcome to Chicago tonight.
It's so nice to speak with you, Paris, and I'm glad you're a big fan of this era.
Absolutely, and we look forward to the documentary just after this show. So for those, like myself, not fortunate to be around to get to go to Mr. Kelly's or the London House, remind viewers the kind of reputations they had, not only in Chicago, but across the country.
Well, they were known as the Tastemakers to the nation. And they literally curated the best up-and-coming talent from around the nation and brought it to Chicago and gave these stars a place to really hone their careers.
And, you know, we mentioned the names at the top, and you add in people like Bob Newhart or Steve Martin. Was it just that your father and uncle had their finger on the pulse of who was up and coming, and that's how it developed this reputation, Mr. Kelly's specifically, as this place to catch the hot acts?
Well, starting in 1953 when it opened, my Uncle Oscar really had an eye for talent. He was in and out of New York and LA, and he brought people like Streisand and the Smothers Brothers out of the coffee houses of New York City and brought them into Chicago. And for years, he had this vision of a singer and a stand-up comic, and he, was not shy to bring in, as you say, controversial, groundbreaking acts.
And as we mentioned, putting Chicago on the map, and a lot of artists like Sarah Vaughan, you saw that they loved the atmosphere at Mr. Kelly's so much that when they cut their live albums, they cut it there. So tell us about the atmosphere at Mr. Kelly's. What was that like?
Well, you're correct that these were obviously established stars, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, that came into Kelly's. And you have to remember that these stars were playing 10 shows a week, 2 on the week and 3 on weekends, up to 2, 3 in the morning. And they'd stay for 2 and 3 weeks. So it was an amazing venue. It was a very intimate spot. Eartha Kitt talks about in her interview with Studs Terkel that it was almost like you were part of the audience when you were performing there. And they had great food. That was something that Chicagoans required. The best steaks, the best fish, and my father really took care of making that right and making sure that the customers were treated right, and the staff. They were very good to their staff of all kinds and all colors.
Well, I think
they had employees that stayed with them for years.
The slogan at the London House was "Make a date with a steak" or something like that. And you mentioned that your father and uncle didn't shy away from controversial subjects. Let's listen to Chicago-born legendary comedian Dick Gregory on why he loved playing Mr. Kelly's.
Were there African Americans in the audience as well?
Where?
At the Kelly's.
Oh yeah, Kelly's. No place else. No place else. That was one of the safe places we knew we could go.
So they're bringing in African-American artists, Latino artists, male, female, and the crowd. You hear Dick Gregory saying African Americans feel that's a safe place for them to go, one of the few safe places, an integrated place. Was that important to the Marienthals to cultivate a place like that in controversial times?
Well, I never heard them preach it as such, but my father told me, he had thought there was only one rule, and that was the goal, and that you should, treat people fairly. And, obviously that didn't restrict people of any color. And so, they certainly were forward thinking, but it was a sign of the times. They were, one of a few clubs in Chicago that we have the article from the Chicago Defender that says they, these venues now welcoming the sepia trade, it was called. And, so there was, along with professional sports, things were opening up. But the Marienthal brothers made it sure that, people felt welcome. We have a great story about Ernie Banks sitting down in the restaurant, and a white couple next to him got up and walked out, and my cousin, who was working there at the time, sat down and had dinner with Ernie. So they made sure that everybody felt good.
And it wasn't just that, but also comedians, comics around the 60s start to really stretch the limits here of what's appropriate, especially as we get into the late 60s and things get really turbulent. How come your father and uncle were cool with that? I mean, they didn't shy away from comics that would come in and sort of test out the really controversial material.
Well, it was a combination of willing to push the boundaries, and they were running a business as well. It was a very interesting times, because they could have not only was the crowd integrated, but it was business people, conventioneers that were coming in, families from the suburbs, as well as the hip crowd, the beatniks of the time. And so it was a real mix, and people were willing to get together and share. And watching somebody like the Smothers entertain at the same time promote free speech and anti-war, and I think that it was the common ground, is that this was entertainment. People were laughing, and so you could, Dick Gregory does tell jokes, which I don't know if you can get away with today or not, about slum clearance, about segregation, and people were laughing.
And
that's what really brought them together.
And then you had acts like Tim Reed and Tom Dreesen from Harvey, who they were a black and white act. What about you? I mean, you were young when it was still around. Do you have any memories of favorite acts that you saw at Mr. Kelly's?
Well, I have a lot of great memories, and this film is really a combination of the social movements that you're talking about, the great entertainers that got their start, and somewhat of my personal and the brothers' family. And our editor, Scott Dumler, and director Teddy Bosian were able to interweave these stories, and I feel a very engaging way. And so, as a kid, I would go in and, my favorite acts were fun, ones that were fun. I loved Les McCann, who was a jazz pianist, but when my father would entertain all the entertainers, and Les would come in the back and play with myself and my brothers. The Smothers brothers would, just goof around with us and be funny. Of course, I was, blown away when I saw Barbra Streisand at 12 years old, who walks up as, really a kid, not that much older than I was, and she opens her mouth, and you knew you were in the presence of genius.
And you actually opened the film with a voiceover from Barbra Streisand talking about how important Mr. Kelly's was to her. And then she went and did a photo shoot on Oak Street Beach, which became the cover of her famous album, People. So there's so many great stories, and wish we could tell them all on Chicago Tonight, but viewers are going to get to watch the whole thing in just a bit. And our thanks right now to David Marienthal. Thank you so much.
Well, there's a lot of great stories on our website at www.mrkellyschicago.com. And the film will be shown several times this weekend and then released nationally in the fall. It's a full-length version.
All right, well, congratulations on that. And Live at Mr. Kelly's airs tonight at 8, right here on WTTW, as we mentioned.